Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California. This is the Strings Unraveled podcast. Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
Okay.
Good. Yeah. It is a early Saturday morning here, so some of us I think are still trying to wake up. I am. But it is June, which is crazy that it's already June. Like this year just started, right?
Yeah.
I know everybody says that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's going so fast. But I honestly was surprised that it was June.
I know.
Anything exciting going on? Got any fun like travel plans this summer now that we can like go and do things?
Well,
A little bit.
definitely things are happening. Could have been more fun because like tickets to Hawaii right now with Southwest for $159 one way.
My aunt and uncle just got back from Hawaii.
Yeah. So Kevin and I were very tempted. We have a trip to San Francisco planned for our anniversary. We really consider,
Yeah.
like, could we just go to Hawaii instead? Because, I mean, 6-hour drive versus 6-hour flight.
Right.
But Kona was the only island that we could find accommodations for the travel thing we have set up already. And we have already been to Kona. So we decided a weekend trip to a place we'd already been wasn't
But you've been to San Francisco.
Yeah, but it's flight costs.
Like paying for a
yeah,
flight
like
versus
buying a flight.
Yeah.
Traveling halfway across the Pacific.
Right.
And for anybody who has not flown, don't be surprised when the planes are packed.
Oh yeah,
because they've been packed.
Capacity.
They haven't ever stopped being packed. They just had fewer flights.
Yep. James and I are going on a little anniversary trip next week to Catalina Island.
Oh,
we thought about that.
I've never been before.
Yeah, me either.
But so I'm excited about that. And then I have a wedding to go to in Wyoming in July, so that's exciting.
That's going to be exciting too.
Yeah, it's a whole family affair. The whole family's going, so it's going to be I think it's my cousin that's getting married, but it's a small wedding. I don't know how many guests are going, but I think the majority of them is going to be just family, so it'll be fun. I'm excited, and I haven't seen that half of my family in a long time, so I'm looking forward to that.
Not till August, not till later, but every year my husband and I try to get away, just the two of us. Sometimes it ends up being the three of us, where my youngest young adult child comes with us, but I finally said, no, it's not much of an anniversary with a threesome. Anyway, so we are going to go to Mammoth and then up to Sparks, but we're going to the Brew and Blues Festival. I don't drink beer, but I like the blues a lot. In like I said, in August, we'll spend a few days up there in Mammoth. We like that place a lot. And then we're gonna go check out Sparks, because that's told that's kind of a neat place. And heck, we've already traveled most of the way there anyway. But instead of just driving, we're gonna do what I've always wanted to do. We're gonna put a hitch on the back of the Mini, which is why I got this particular Mini, and we're gonna get like a little 2-person trailer that we can tow. The kind that pops up in the back and has its own kitchen, kind of like a step up from the camping that I've always done on a tent. It'll be nice not to be in a tent.
Are you gonna rent it?
We're gonna rent it.
That's cool.
We're gonna rent it. I wanted to go all the way to Colorado, and my husband's like, yeah, we've never pulled a trailer.
I was gonna say, maybe start a little closer for your first time.
So he goes, this way, if something breaks down, we're at least still mostly in the state.
Yeah, or nearby.
Or nearby.
Yes.
He goes, let's go someplace familiar.
That's a good idea.
So, and I like the idea that we can we're not tied to one hotel or another. We can just kind of be nomads and go up someplace and park, find like an RV or find a campground and park it. Hopefully campgrounds won't be super.
I was gonna say, make your reservations ahead of time. Please don't just show up because you will not get a spot.
Well,
at least in California you won't, because everything is packed.
And you're right.
Because everybody has the same idea as you. It's like, we should get a trailer so we don't have to stay in a hotel. So.
Well, and if that's the Brews and Blues Festival, dang.
You should make your reservations.
It's probably too late.
Well, at least check. Because you might be able to find a campground around there or something.
I know there's a campground. Well, if we don't get the campground in Mammoth, we could try around June Lake. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're smaller, but yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
that is an excellent idea. We're like, because we know better. We know that you
Well,
have
you
to do
can-
reservations.
Can do dispersed camping, which is where you're just on like the Bureau of Land Management land. You just show up and you can park wherever and it's free. But it's out in the middle of nowhere. So you don't have any hookups, you don't have a bathroom, you don't have anything. So if all else fails, you could just go find a spot in that like land area. But
How do you know which one is land management and how much is
there's
it?
apps and you could go on websites that show
Okay.
you where they are and stuff. But
It's been so long since I've been camping, and I remember we always had to have reservations, even to tent camp,
Yeah.
because, getting in the great outdoors, and after people have been cooped up for a year plus,
Yeah.
everyone wants to. Well, if this weekend's traffic, we're filming this at Memorial Day weekend, and
Yeah.
I will tell you, just trying to get home on a Friday in the early afternoon was kind of a challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
why I'm
heard it
so
was
glad I'm
bad.
not going anywhere this weekend. We were thinking about going because it's our anniversary is on the 1st, so we were like, well, maybe we can go camping. That was our first thought, but we couldn't find a campsite anywhere that we liked or, or that wasn't, somewhere we had been a million times. And we were like, well, because we do go camping a lot. And we couldn't find a spot anywhere. And so we decided like last minute to plan this trip to go to Catalina instead. But that was our original plan, was to go tow the trailer and go somewhere, but we couldn't find a spot. So
Later this summer, I'm going to hit you up for some trailer tips.
I will do my best, but I am not an expert.
No, but you guys tow a trailer.
Yeah.
As opposed to me, who's never towed a trailer, so you know more than I do.
Yeah,
My
it'll
boss-
be easy.
My boss likes to say a little bit of something is better than nothing. So you have a
There you
little
go.
bit of something as far
Also,
as advice goes.
I'm assuming my trailer is probably a bit bigger than the one that you're going to tow with your Mini, so
Well, yeah, the Mini is limited to 1,400 pounds.
yeah.
Although I saw some website that said 2,000, but I think 1,400 with nothing in it.
Yeah, that's dry weight.
Yeah, that's just so.
Yeah, it's
And there's
fun, but it takes some.
And there's a few online places that you can rent them from people local, not too far from your area. There's some really adorable ones, and there's some that are really fancy schmancy, but I'm like, oh, wow, that's more expensive than just staying in a hotel.
Is it like an Airbnb of
Yeah,
trailers?
it's an
Oh,
Airbnb.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And some of them are just like families with kids, and they still make it work. And I love the little kitchens that pop up in the back, and they have their own. You just hook up your propane tank, and you're good.
My grandma had one of those because she wanted to be able to tow a trailer with her car, and she used it a bunch. But then my uncle bought it from her because she wasn't using it, so he takes it on little trips and stuff, and he tows it with his like hatchback.
Mhm.
But there's a place in Bishop that rents little ones. Or maybe it's somewhere around there. I can look. But every time we drive through there, we could see there's like one parked on the side that says "Rent Me," so you might be able to like drive up there and pick it up.
That's kind of cool. Except it'd be nice to. Do you prepack yours before you go, right?
No, well sometimes ours is stowed at like a trailer parking facility,
Oh, okay.
like a storage place. So we usually just go to it, pack it up there, and then hit the road. So it would be essentially the same as you going to get it in Bishop. But it also would be nice if it's your first time to have it at your house, kind of like go around the neighborhood,
practice before we get on the long incline, the big road, and then have a long line of people, knowing that these must be newbies because they're driving so slow.
Well, it might be a good option for next time,
Yeah, I like that idea.
Like it, whatever. That reminds me that James and I were thinking of with this wedding we're going to in July. Was originally supposed to be in August, so he took the time off and we planned it and we booked flights and we did all the things, and then the date of the wedding changed to July, a month earlier, so we had to cancel everything.
Oh, man.
And rebook everything, which was kind of a pain, but James still has that time set aside in August, so we were thinking of going somewhere, and I think our tentative plan is to take the trailer and go to Arizona, and I want to stay in Sedona, and
that's a
stuff
great
like
place.
that. We're also thinking of like, camping somewhere maybe closer to the Grand Canyon for a couple days and go and see that. And so we haven't planned anything yet, but
that is one of the many places along with Wyoming that will be packed this year.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
It's a big place though.
That's true. There is a lot of space there. So, and the good thing is that we have the trailer, so we can, we're already looking at campsites, and there's still some availability, but we're in the same camp where it's like, oh, I better like book that right now. Yeah, well, that all sounds good. do we want to jump into what we're working on? You both look like you're busy trying to figure something out, so I'm gonna go first.
Go for it.
So I've been working on a bunch of different things. I started a crochet pattern called the Blythe Tank, which is a little tank top with like a V-neck top, and it's a V-neck line, and it's buttoned down the front, and it's I'm trying to see if I can find a picture to show you. Yeah, because I left the project at home.
Not that any of you can see these pictures.
No, but you could look it up on.
But I can.
You can make it cropped or you can make it longer. But that's the model picture
adorable.
of it.
So that's so cute.
Are you going to do similar buttons, or do you have something fun planned?
I don't have the buttons picked out yet. The yarn I'm using is Karin Cotton Cakes in like a light gray color. So I could go, a bunch of different ways with the buttons. I haven't decided on that yet, but that is what I'm working on right now. I got to start that after I finished something this week. Now I'm working on my second Rainbow in the Storm for me. I made one for myself. I think I talked about this last time we recorded. And then I'm also working on one for my niece for maybe Christmas or her birthday. I haven't decided, but this is the second adult size one that I'm making for me. So it's just easy knit purl. I don't have to think about it. So it's a good chatting and, knitting project. So that's what I'm working on. Karin, you want to go next?
Yeah. So I thought these things I'm gonna share with you were going to be FOs. I worked really, really hard, so they're almost FOs, but I can't put them in that. I can't put them in that category yet. So I've got one thing sort of wrapped up hidden because I didn't want to show you. Remember, like we took a trip like last month or something?
Yeah.
We went to we went and got some fabric.
Yeah.
I did something with it.
Oh, cool.
And it's almost done.
Oh, good.
I made a quilt top.
Oh,
I mean, by done, I'm calling a quilt top is part of.
Quilt top is
it's a finished.
I made a quilt top last time we recorded, and you let me say it was a finished object. So
yeah, because there's enough work that a quilt can be counted as multiple projects. Because there's different parts to it.
Look, I finished cutting out the pieces.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe not that. Let's see. I got to stand up for this one.
She's standing up.
Really loud. But
that's beautiful.
Oh, I love that. What's the pattern?
It's called Petal Points.
Petal Points.
Petal Points. I believe it's by Strawberry Creek Quilts. I'll look that up in a minute.
That looks great.
Okay, I was super proud of how these points met on the square. I should have been more careful about how the flying geese meet.
Oh, yeah.
But whatever.
You can't tell.
Once I throw
in the grand scheme of things.
I like what Angela Walters says. She says, just throw on more quilting.
Yeah, you just quilt the heck out of it.
Just quilt the heck out of it. No one will notice it.
So it gets squished down.
Yeah,
no one will notice. No one will notice those corners. Anyway, so these are the colors.
I love that.
I decided I wanted it. Technically, it is done because this part of it is the pattern, but I wanted to add a border to make it just a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
because it's a really nice like a throw, but I just wanted to add 10 more inches on all the way around. So I went to Super Buzzy and I found this really neat fabric collection. It's written on the side called Soften the Volume. And they're all these soft, neutral, warm, beigeish creams, mild prints. I don't think there's any grays. I think they're all just like wheats and stuff like that. And the idea is you can have this very tonal, but it's got the nice botanical because I'm trying to match the batiks that from that other shop. I wasn't going to be able to find it. And plus, I didn't want to wait because I thought I'm gonna get this locally so I can cut this and get this done.
Yeah.
Well, I washed the fabric and dried it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So I got enough for the backing and the binding, and as well as the border. But anyway, so I'm loving that.
Nice.
And now I'm not gonna fold that up nicely. I'll fold up later. The other thing is I was working. This is something I started like 2 weeks ago, and I'm almost done. Again, almost done. It's a scrappy crocheted sweater.
Yeah, when we recorded our book club, you said it was going to be done.
I was shocked. Okay. Back and front sleeves all attached. I'm just doing the edging around the neck, and then I'll do around the cuffs. And I thought using all that stash, I would, actually use some up. I still have. I did not use up. I thought this is scrappy. It's crochet. It should use a ton of yarn.
Let me tell you, I have made 2 scrappy sweaters out of leftover yarn, and you can make an infinite amount from a large bag of scraps, I feel like. I
Oh
just
my
finished
gosh, it's
another
like
one, and
the
my
bag
bag
never
didn't get any
ends.
smaller.
No,
No.
I still have.
I understand.
I'm like I can lift up my bag. My whole skeins got smaller, and I did use up some because I'm holding three strands of fingering together.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern calls for the sweater's called Example by Crochet Designs. Heather, I don't know what her last name is, and it looks like it'd be super super comfortable, and it's so it's comfortable. It's what's the word too? It's melodic. How easily and quickly it goes.
Nice.
It's like
my.
I was not quite because it's not melody, but it feels like like you get in a rhythm.
If you follow us on Instagram, you've seen a picture of this in progress because it's been posted for like a link for
It's out there.
Stitch Night, but you'll see it on there.
Yeah. Well, you saw it just on the one piece.
Yeah.
But anyway, here, look.
It's
Oh,
beautiful.
cute. The only place that I really even paid attention of repeating colors, so the front and the back don't match.
Uh-huh.
They don't have to.
They don't need to,
But
yeah.
I did try to make the sleeves somewhat match.
Mm.
So I finished one sleeve and I kept it nearby as a reference point.
Uh-huh.
But, once you have 3 strands together, you're kind of like, wait a minute, which
that's
which
a lot.
one, when I'm changing one of them, which I've got many skeins that are similar. Was it this one or was it that one? I think it's this one. Oh, it's not. Whatever. I'm moving on. It's close enough. No one will tell.
Does the pattern call for you to use scraps, or is it you just did it?
Yeah, you use scraps.
Nice.
You use scraps. You use a DK, a bunch of DKs. That's what's your scrappy part, and then you have a solid fingering that kind of goes throughout the entire thing to tie it together. So I used a marled black and white or charcoal and white as my go-to throughout.
Like base color.
As my base color.
It really ties it all together
It really
well.
did because it's not all dark and it's not all light. You get little flecks of both. And then my main when I had my bigger skeins and I mixed them, the tone that it pulls out looks very different compared to when it's depending on what smaller mini skein it's paired with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something I'm just looking at my super neon brights that get toned down when they're with blue and purple, but when they're with or pink and purple, and when they're with aqua, they like really pop. Anyway, so that was the Example sweater, and it is a little heavier, so I was glad to get most of this done before we got hot.
Yeah.
And the other thing I thought I was really, really going to be done with, because I've got them sewn together, but I don't have the sleeves done, is the Deshane Tea by Leela Raven.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the yarn, and I want to make more of them, but they discontinued it.
I saw that.
Shoot.
That's a cool yarn.
It is a great yarn.
And I was like, but they already discontinued it.
I should have known when I got it at such a great markdown price that was why.
Mm.
They should have said that on, get this while they last, but then maybe some people don't want to grab it. Because
sometimes discontinued is not a selling point.
No.
Right.
But, so I've got lately I've been doing sweaters that need to be pieced, and usually I like all one piece, the seamless kind.
Uh-huh.
But I gotta say, there's something kind of nice with just having smaller bits of knitting.
Yeah.
I'm noticing that it goes faster because I don't, you get in a stockinette going in the round on a larger size, and you just feel like you're running on a treadmill going nowhere sometimes. Yeah. So being able to make some progress by just doing pieces, and it freshens up my seaming.
Yeah.
Seaming skills.
Was your crochet sweater in pieces?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it was crochet. You do a front and the back, and there's no shaping to the fronts or the back. It's super simple, very relaxing. The only shaping was on the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're just increasing.
Nice.
So other than that, and then you just crochet seaming things together is really comfortable and fun and fast, so much faster. I don't have to worry about cutting or if I run out of strand. And like with this Deshane tee, which I should describe it, it's a boxy but cropped, and for that I needed, thanks to your advice, I did take it out and add another 2.5 to 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
It's still cropped, but I feel like it's a nicer crop. It's
Yeah.
more at the high hip versus at the waist.
Yeah, you'll be more comfortable wearing it too.
I'm gonna wear, and I've already figured out the summer dress I'm gonna make so I can wear it under this.
What is it? What is it?
I'm gonna make
Oh wait,
that.
is that for the next? Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Tell me later.
I'm
You'll
gonna
hear
make
about it later.
something really, really cool, and you're gonna like it. And there.
I'm gonna make something cool, and you're gonna like it. That goes on a t-shirt. It's been a little while since
You
we've had
better
a
like
t-shirt.
it.
But that should be a t-shirt. I'm gonna make something, and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, you're not. I still like what Lynn, one of our customers says. She says, "You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit."
Oh, my mom has told me
Yeah,
that since I was a baby.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's a momism.
Yeah. Other than that, that's the stuff that's mostly almost done, in progress. I have one thing that I just started that I'm just swatching for, but I can't start on yet. I'm doing a test knit for a sweater for Tina Tse, tina.say.knits on Instagram. It's pretty awesome, and it's kind of fun because she uses Slack. So now when I go to Slack, I either talk to us or I talk to the test group. It's all connected.
Yeah, I've done a couple tests with a Slack group.
Yeah. So we can't start on it yet because it's in the tech editor phase, but she's got the group she's got the group together, so we have time to get our yarns and stuff like that. And I'm putting my warm melted butter gorgeous yellow from the Farmer Daughter Fibers to use, along with this gorgeous green that has like black undertones called Pine Drop. And the fiber itself is Rocky Mountain Pearls, Purls, which is superwash BFL with nylon. Anyway,
Cool.
that's it.
Do you get Rocky Mountain pearls from Rocky Mountain oysters?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I would think so.
No.
Maybe.
If you don't know what that is, Google it.
James
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
me
I'm not
today
saying out loud.
because we're going to Wyoming, or like, oh no, because we're going to Catalina and there's bison, buffalo there. He was like, "Would you eat a Rocky Mountain oyster?" And I was like, "No way in hell would I eat a Rocky Mountain
Would
oyster."
he though?
I'm sure he would.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I think he would.
No.
Boys would have more trouble with that.
No, he would because he eats a lot of weird things.
I
but-
would eat one.
No.
Just to see.
No.
Yeah.
I like a lot of different foods, and I'm usually but those kind of parts of the body, I just don't.
Yeah,
No,
I don't
mean-
need to know what that texture is like. I'm good.
Now I'm dying to know.
No. What are you working on, Anne?
So I'm still working on my Divide cardigan. I'm almost done with the second sleeve.
That's the
And
one you
I-
were working on last time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I started with the sleeves, which is not where the pattern says, but that is one of the things I like doing with a piece sweater, because you can kind of work out your gauge and
Get a feel for the pattern.
yeah,
especially with that color work, you can kind of get a handle on it, or if colors play well together or not.
That's fair. Divide is all one color. It's that
Oh.
one that I'm doing in the rust color,
Um,
and it's got the kind of intricate
It's got like a weird ribbing
twisted
pattern.
rib
Yeah.
cabling. Super cool, which I know that's fun because I halfway finished the back already in a different yarn. So I'm looking forward to getting back to that. So I'm working on Divide, and then I'm working on this other fun sweater that does have color work, called Knocked Shotten by Woolmushi.
Uh-huh.
I think the screen name of the person who turned me on to this sweater is called, I think she's the Prolific Knitter, like prolific, but prolific.
Oh,
Yeah,
clever.
Prolific Knitter. She is super cute on Instagram. I recommend following her because she has given me a lot of knitting inspiration, including this sweater. The sweater is, you knit the sleeves first. It's kind of like the sort of tube shrugs that were really popular
Oh,
where you like
Oh,
make
okay.
the sleeve, only it's a little more sophisticated, the shaping. And so you make the sleeves. The sleeves end with not Bavarian, Latvian braid,
oh, cute.
Ooh.
which is wonderful. So here is my sleeve tube.
Oh, nice.
And my one fun cuff there with the
Uh-huh.
Latvian braid. And I'm halfway done with the second sleeve. So you do like a provisional cast on and make one sleeve, and then you open the provisional cast on and you mirror the left sleeve. So I'm looking forward to getting to that Latvian braid. Then when it's done, you pick up along the front and the back, and you make this kind of like skirt shape with this really pretty, it kind of looks like wildflowers to me. It makes me think of wildflowers in a field. And my colors are gray and black because I'm trying to make a sweater that I can wear to work a lot. I'm going to show you guys a picture of it, but it's taking a long time to load. My one no thank you on this sweater was it's designed so you have to do the color work flat.
Oh.
So bumming around looking at people's projects, I did see that at least 2 people set it up so you could do steek stitches, so then you can do your color work in the round and cut it open, and then I was sold.
Nice.
I was like, yes, that I will do this sweater.
That sounds fun.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, you showed me this the other day. That's beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it does look like.
I see
It's
what
in
you
English,
I
though.
see what you mean by the
Yeah, it's in
skirt,
English.
kind of the skirt thing. It kind of reminds me of
It's a little like Hitafude,
Like
but with
Hitafude.
a different. It has a little different construction
Mm-hmm.
in that the sleeve tube is a little more sophisticated in the shaping. Because in Hitafude, it is just a rectangle.
A tube,
that you do a 3 needle bind off to connect, which is delightful, and then you pick up the body of the sweater, which is kind of this swingy skirt. And then I am determined to go back on a lot of the sweaters I've started because I have literally finished nothing knitting this year practically. If I'm fast enough, I'll report this finished object that's almost there in my hand.
She has something in her hand she's not telling us about yet.
But I have 4 or 5 sweaters that just need a little more work, be it sleeves, finish the body and do little sleeves. So I'm determined to get back into those.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Of course.
So somebody told me about a method that somebody was doing that she heard about called the Gideon method, where I don't know why it's called that. I tried to look it up, I couldn't really figure it out. But basically, you get yourself like, I think the example was 5 projects that you really want to finish, like 5 sweaters, and they're like big things that are like looming. You're like, I would really love to finish that project or whatever. You line them up, and you spend 12 hours with each one. So you kind of have to track your time a little bit, but you're like, I'm going to spend 12 hours working on project number 1. And when I hit the 12-hour mark, if I finished it, that's great. I can move on. If I haven't, I have to put it away and then start on project number 2 and work on it for 12 hours straight until you get to the 12-hour mark. Then you move on to the next project. And she said that by doing it, she finished so many things that were like works in progress. And I was like, well, I was curious, like, what 12 hours of knitting time, like, looks like for me.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and you do knit a lot. So, like, that's, I just found that fascinating that I learned about that this month. Because I considered doing it, and then I was like, not right now, but that's something I would definitely try and do.
Well, when you have, like, I want to finish started things surge, which you do have.
Yeah.
I have to say you're very good about that. It's
startitis.
Intermittently. Oh, I have startitis.
Oh, we all do.
Year. Bad this year, like the worst year ever. But that's right up my alley, though. So I like hearing about that because I love that kind of tracking thing.
Yes.
So
it would probably be really encouraging because you might be surprised that it may not take you 12 hours to finish.
Yeah.
Or you might get so
like a big thing,
but you might you realize, okay, it might take 13 hours, but look, 12 hours, I made a ton of progress.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought that was cool.
And that kind of creates also, I've only got 12 hours. How much more can I do?
I really want to get this done, you know?
Yeah. It's a great motivator.
Not because the quality of 12 hours of knitting can be vastly different.
True.
Too, so that's a good point. the put it away, like a finite, you have to put it away is like a very good psychological factor because
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily procrastination that's not getting me back to those projects, but it's definitely tied to the psychology of procrastination.
Right.
And that's a procrastination technique is like give yourself only 10 minutes to work on a project you're avoiding.
And then it turns into like a carrot on a string. If you really
Mhm.
liked project number 1, but you didn't make it in 12 hours,
Mhm.
you know, you have to go through the cycle of all the other projects, but you're going to get there eventually. And, oh, I really want to get back to it, you know? So,
My house might actually even get a little bit cleaner because there's those projects that I am so close to finishing that I don't want to put away because then I'll forget about them.
right.
But they've been sitting in the same place for months.
Yep.
So they might actually get out of the way.
Yeah.
I know it would make my studio cleaner.
Oh, Pishaw. Cleaner schmeener.
Oh, I'm not saying that's like a virtue. I'm just saying it would make my studio cleaner.
More room for more projects.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anything
There's
else?
a carrot.
I interrupted you, so.
Oh, that's okay. That's a good interruption. I have a lot of sewing plans,
Mhm.
but too much to like really organize my thoughts on.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of sewing ahead for the summer.
Nice.
Yeah, I did a lot of ordering for sewing.
Yeah.
Like late night, I missed out on the Shelby Sherritt. Darn it, that husband of mine. I missed out on her shop update.
Yeah, I think
I was
they're
gonna
hard to get.
buy. Well, because while
Who
it's
is she? I don't
she's
know
the one who does those great pottery reveals of what's in the mold.
That cuteness.
Yes,
Okay.
and so I've been following
Sorry, I haven't
her.
absorbed her name. I just watch her every day.
And 4 p.m. Eastern Australian Eastern time is 11 p.m.
Okay.
the night before.
That's not so bad. All right.
No,
It's
and
not
I'm
like it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
no, but it doesn't matter because it was like I was like watching the time, and then I got distracted with the husband. Love
Yeah.
ya.
I
And
usually-
then I'm like, what time is it? Oh, it's 11:38. I
Yeah,
already
forget
missed it.
Forget
If
it.
if I was like, need to be there at 11.
You need to be there at 10:59.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Refresh,
or
refresh,
10:55.
refresh.
Yeah,
Yep. That
yeah,
sucks.
it's okay. I mean, I budgeted what I thought. Ooh. And American to Australian dollars is really good
It's a
right
good-
now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
nice.
dang. But she does it once a month, so there's next month.
Yeah, it'll come around again.
But those echidnas were adorable. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, then the money I didn't spend on her thing, it
There
did
you go.
it got spent anyway. Just but I planned some sewing projects, which will go into our which when we get to our other segment, I'll talk
Yeah.
about.
Is that consolation shopping?
Just to make yourself feel better because
Yeah.
you missed out.
Well, I was on the fence, and then it was like, fine. Now I'm on the fence. I'm still gonna spend. Now
Yeah.
I don't.
Then
Now-
you felt justified.
Absolutely.
I have a quilt in progress that I have not worked on in a while, but I just realized that I need to have it done relatively soon. I was thinking about this yesterday. I was like, oh crap, I was supposed to. I'm trying to get it finished as a wedding gift for the wedding I have to go to in July. And the top, it's like 20 squares of these big star squares, and I think I have like 14 of them done. So if I really buckle down, I could get it done. But then I have
12
to quilt it
hours.
and all that.
12 hours.
Yeah, I know. No, I just need to like lock myself in my studio all day and like actually work on it because I get distracted. I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, like squirrel brain. But I need to finish that, so I got to get back to it. Well, I guess we could do what we finished. Anne wants to go last.
Short segment.
no, talk slowly.
Well, I
Yeah.
have 3 things to talk about.
You know what? No matter
Yay.
what, I'm talking about this thing that's in my hand.
Yeah. We'll hear about it. So when last we recorded, when we were on our trip, I bought and finished the quilt top for the baby quilt. I finished the quilt.
Ooh.
The pattern is called, I think it's called Yellow Brick Road, and it is fat quarters. So I put it together and I did some simple quilting on it, and it's done. It's so nice and snuggly because I backed it with fleece and it doesn't have any
Ooh.
batting, so it's nice and soft and snuggly for a baby.
And you put a label on
that
it.
is
And I put a little
snuggly.
label on it.
How'd you do? Oh, you did the hand stitched.
No, my
Aw.
machine has letter stitches, so
Well,
I did
that's cool.
it with that. So, but it's done. It was the top was done when last we spoke, so I had to do the binding and the quilting and the all that good stuff. But it's done, so
Can we see the front?
Yes.
With the quilting? That is such a cute pattern.
It was so easy. I mean, it was like cut some shapes and sew them together. And it's got,
which is how all quilts work.
Yeah, I know. I understand. They're very
There's
rectangular
squares.
shapes, so it's pretty easy.
Uniform.
Yes, I think there's 6 different fabrics. One of them has these cute little honeybees. One of them's got like little mushrooms on it, like foresty mushrooms. There's one with little tiny leaves, like a basic green print. One that's like a wood grain print, and then I used a dark brown batik to kind of give it some contrast. And when we were at the quilt store and I bought the fat quarters, I realized that I really wanted to bind the quilt with the green, the matching green. So I had to go online and order like half a yard from Etsy. The fabric collection's called Grow With Me, and I can't remember like who it's from or whatever, but
Did she not have it at the shop, or maybe they don't have it online?
I don't know if they had it online. I can't remember. There was a reason why I went to Etsy to buy it. I don't remember. But
I think they only had fat quarter, right, or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, they might not have.
That's
I don't
true. Some
remember.
places only have the fat quarters and not the yardages.
Yeah. But that's done, so I can cross that off my list. I still want to maybe knit something for this baby as well, but I haven't committed to anything yet. And then I finished the Little Monarch, I think is the name of the pattern, which is for my baby niece. Well, she's not a baby, she's 2, but
You're a baby till you're 5.
Okay, then she's
how
baby.
Pretty.
So this is Little Monarch by Jamie Hoffman, which she's one of my favorites. It is a colorwork yoke kids sweater, and I used 2 colors of Malabrigo sock, and the bottom one is water green, and I don't remember the name of the top one.
I don't know this water green color. Is that? Of course, it's been a while since we were at the
No,
yarn shop.
It's been a color that's been around. We might just
Yeah.
not have had it at Anacapa at the
I
time.
think it was sort of newish because Anacapa's been closed for almost 4 years.
Yeah. No, I remember this color in like Rios.
Yeah, like I think it
okay.
was newish in
Yeah. I bought both of these at Super Buzzy. And the pattern was like, if you want, you can add optional beads on the neckline. And I was like, I'm not going to do the beads.
They're so pretty.
And then I found beads in my stash, and the little hook to like the little tiny crochet hook was right next to them. And I was like, okay, fine, universe, I'll put beads on it.
Was it bottom up or top down? Did you say that
down.
already?
It's top down. And yeah, so I got through all the fun part of the color work, and then I had to do the boring part of the sleeves and the body, and they're all just one color. So, but it's small because it's for a 2-year-old. I think I made like the 3/4 size, and I was thinking about trying to be the aunt that makes all the kids sweaters for Christmas, because I was gonna finish this for her birthday gift, and her birthday was May 8th. And I was like, oh, I'll give it to her on her birthday, but like, why would you need a long sleeve sweater going into the summer? So I'm going to save it and give it to her, I think, for Christmas. And I hope it still fits her by then.
It's like, don't go through a growth spurt.
I could block it a little more aggressively. But when I hold it up, I'm like, is she this small? I don't know. It's 2 gauge, and I made a size larger than she currently wears, so I think it should be fine.
You got a little bit of insurance there.
I hope.
and girls' clothes, like, negative beads is okay.
Yes.
So you get that, you get a little bit more leeway.
Yeah. And then yesterday I buckled down to finish I've been working on this for a couple weeks, but this is my second scrappy sweater.
It's gorgeous.
Like I was telling Karin, I made one scrappy sweater a couple years ago, and then I was like, oh, I'll go through so much stash, and I still have enough stash to knit I don't know how many more sweaters. Like, also, my stash keeps growing, and when things come out, things come in, so it's a never-ending cycle, I think, that I could knit infinite amounts of scrappy sweaters. But it's 2 strands of sock yarn held together throughout the whole time.
What pattern did you use?
This time I used flax from Tin Can Knits because I wanted a really basic, like, no-frills, like, sweatshirt, basically. And it's a top-down raglan, all in one piece, easy peasy kind of sweater. The original flax pattern has like a garter stitch design element down the sleeves, which I omitted. I just made them plain stockinette because I just wanted it to be easy. And it's 2 colors of sock yarn. I used a solid color and a multi held together at all times. And I never cut the same color at the same time, so they would all blend into each other. So if I was using like a solid and a multi, I would cut the multi and join in a new one, but keep the solid. and 6 rows of each. So I like 6 row stripes, basically, if that makes sense. My other sweater, I was much more random about it. I just cut and did a couple rows of this and then a bunch of rows of that. But I wanted to make it a little bit easier for my brain and just make it 6 rows of each. And then, I don't have to think as hard about it. So,
do you find that it kept it more, you were more engaged and it goes quicker because you're only thinking
100%.
in terms of 6?
Or also just because I want to see kind of what the next color is going to look like. You have an idea of like, I didn't plan too far ahead. I'm like, I'm going to do this and this and this. Like, I didn't lay them out. I just kind of picked out yarn out of my bag as I went. But I had a general idea of like, oh, maybe I'll blend into green next. And, it keeps it exciting because you want to see what the next color is going to look like.
And it's not like an unknown
and
amount
it's how
of time.
It's a great way to get a sweater done because you're excited to keep going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I didn't match the sleeves. They don't match the body. I didn't care about that. I just made it all totally scrappy. But then when I finished it and I held it up, I noticed that there's some orange and green that landed about the same spot on one of the sleeves to the body. And I was like, well, I didn't do that on purpose. And they're all different yarns, too. It just looks similar just because of the colors. But, yeah, it's not a big deal. I'm not taking it back or anything.
Oh, no. That's part of the randomness. You have to trust what happened.
Yeah. Because it goes to show that as much as we try to be random,
humans can't.
The brain wants order and will find a
way.
way.
I wasn't even looking at the body. I just was like, oh, I'm in orange, and that'll blend well with the green. And then I held it up, and I was like, oh, oops.
Well, yeah, it probably speaks to that. Those colors appeal to you together.
Yeah, I guess so. I will be honest and tell you that when I picked up this sweater to finish it, I was thinking in terms of the Gideon method, and I timed myself.
Yeah.
12 hours. When I put it away and I picked it up, I was in like the middle of the ribbing on the body.
Okay.
So I finished the body and I finished 1.5 sleeves, and that was 12 hours. And I was like, I'm just going to finish it. So I kind of failed on that project.
Well, not failed.
And I don't know if I'm going to continue, but...
finished project can never be considered a failure.
Right?
No. I failed on the Gideon method. But,
did you? Wasn't that the method? Wasn't that the point of the method?
Just to get me to finish it.
Yeah.
I had a list of 5 things. I was like, I'm going to do this next. But now I'm like, I'm kind of happy I finished the thing. Maybe I'll just, do whatever I want for a while.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Like 1.5 sleeves in 12 hours.
Yeah. And had like half an inch of ribbing on the body. But I was like, well, maybe I can make it. I was like, when you have a deadline, so you're like trying to knit faster, and it, I didn't really knit that much faster because I didn't make it. But I'm happy I finished it. It's also, I made this one. The first one I made is like a little short in the body, and the sleeves are a little wide, so it's like the proportions are a little awkward. But I wear it all the time when it's cold because it's like a good comfy sweatshirt. So I made this one a little bit, like the sleeves are more shapely. The body's also kind of longer, so I could wear it with like leggings or something, and it like partially covers my butt. So I really like the way it fits too, so I'm excited about that. I haven't blocked it yet. I don't think I'm gonna, except I might like partially block the neckline because it's kind of pulling at the top. So I think if I flattened it out and just gave it like a good steam, but the rest of the body I'm not too concerned about. And all the ends are, well, like 95% of the ends are woven.
We're not counting ends today.
Well, I just have to trim them. But I wove them in as I went when I started each stripe, because there would be 5 billion ends to weave in if I didn't do that.
Yeah, with mine, I went ahead and did a magic knot ball. I've learned not to trim too closely to the knots.
Yeah.
And when you're doing something scrappy, any little flags just get sucked into the texture.
I did that a couple times on here, but I did the like weave in as you go while you're knitting thing for like 2 inches. So that made it easy.
There's a new scrappy sweater by Wool and Pine called the Sea Glass Tee.
Is that what that is? I didn't look at the picture that closely, so
I saw it on the Prolific Knitter.
I think one of my customers or our customers was telling me about it.
It's beautiful. So one of the recommendations in the pattern is to use fray check. On your magic knot. And I don't know.
Maybe just like a dot of it?
It's just a dot.
I mean,
either I trust it or I don't.
I mean, could it hurt?
Well, it does give you a texture change. And then I would have to like apologize to Rich Deppy, who always wanted to put glue on his ends. And I said no, by no means.
Well, I still,
I
I
don't
mean,
know
we all
that
have the same reaction. We're all like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's put glue on your sweater.
But
Yeah.
I did
Glue is
have a
just
magic
stiff in
knot
sweaters.
come undone in the middle of my divided sleeve, and I'm, saying some prayers and retying it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Yeah.
I would be tempted to just throw a spot of glue, freight check on it.
I mean,
Interesting.
I think it's more flexible than like a regular glue.
Yeah, you're not putting
'Cause
super
it's
glue on it.
intended- yeah, it's intended for this purpose.
She's adorable. Look at her. She's doing her. Yeah, she's wearing it. She must. I wonder if she did the test knit.
She did, yeah. I think that's why she's like on all the trends, because she's a prolific test knitter. A prolific test knitter.
Cute.
But she has like the best suggestions for patterns.
I think that's all the things I finished. So, Karin,
Karen, what have you
anything?
finished?
Nothing. Oh, yeah, nothing. I
Well, you're
would
so
like I said
close
I
on so
had.
many
That's the thing.
things.
I'm on the verge of finishing.
You finished a quilt top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
technically yes.
There
I'm
you go.
add. That's true. I finished it. Just because I choose to add to it doesn't diminish that it is technically according to the pattern finished.
We've all agreed that you can count it. You don't
Awesome.
have to
Yeah.
justify it
Awesome.
anymore.
Awesome.
That makes me think of that bad joke of how do you know when a painter is done with a painting?
He died.
They're dead.
Oh.
Guess they're done now.
Well.
All of a sudden she's silent.
No, I'm not threatening Karin. That's not happening. Okay, so I did some more sewing when we got home from our trip.
Mm-hmm.
I made Mirabella another of those little office girl flouncy new look.
Oh yeah,
pattern,
the little
which
suit sets.
my God, okay, she looks so cute in those.
Yeah.
Especially the one that I bought. The best one is the one that I bought on a whim at that fabric store, which is a soft pink background with these little kind of graphic kitty heads
I
and
love that one.
polka dots.
With the
Mhm.
houndstooth.
And then the
Oh,
pink and
so
black
cute.
houndstooth. And that's the best one.
I love that.
Um,
A little girl in houndstooth pants.
it's
Like, that's so
real
cute.
real cute. But she's such a goof. Like we all were at 10, I'm sure. At least I know it's genetic. I gave her all the clothes and she oohed and awed over them and she wore them all. But I made the skirts since there was extra fabric. And so she wore the skirts with the pants.
Yeah, the whole look.
Instead of
She owns
I
it.
have two bottoms and
Yeah,
I
you
can
can
wear
pick and
this top
choose.
with two bottoms.
I want you to make her shorts too and see how she puts all that together.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's. I'm like, why are you doing that? She's like, well, the skirt doesn't get stinky or anything, and I like it this way.
Okay.
Oh well, there you go.
So I made her one more of those. There was like a yard remnant at Joann's when I went for some notions, and it's the LOL dolls, which are these stupid, big-headed, big-eyed dolls that she loves. So that turned out real cute, and I made all that bias binding out of that pink and black houndstooth, the extra yard I got.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be my
Mhm.
bias binding, like on everything for the next year. But it went real cute with that. And then I finished a pattern by, who are they? I have to think about what their name is, but it's the Leo Dungarees.
Mm.
So in my stash of fabric, so I threw out a challenge to myself to not just make 9. I'm going to make 9, finish 9, and use 9. So this fabric is part of my use 9.
Mm.
I literally have no memory of where and when I got this. It's like it's not quite a gauze, but it's a lightweight broadcloth
Mm-hmm.
in a royal blue. And I washed it. I didn't iron it when I washed it. And I spent 40 minutes ironing it before I could cut it out. Because it's kind of gauzy, so it was quite wrinkled. And I have 8.5 yards of it.
Oh.
So the Leo Dungarees, it's 45 inches wide. They took about 4 yards in a US size 18.
Which, okay.
Go ahead.
No, I lost track. Never.
Okay.
Sorry.
So they're big balloony pants with a little like pinafore top, and the straps tie, and they're big balloon legged dungarees. It really is something you should put like a 4-year-old little girl in.
Yeah.
But made for grown-ups. Which I added pockets. I put the pockets too low.
Oh, I hate that.
Because it's hard to judge where the waistline is. But they're okay. I might go to the trouble of opening the side seam and moving the inseam pocket up, but probably not. I mean,
until you wear them another couple times and you're like, okay, no, I have to fix this.
Right? I am good. I've gotten better in recent years. If there is something that's really making something less than desirable to wear it, I will change it. Like my favorite lemon dress that I put on Instagram recently. That was a Vogue pattern that had this little tie front that was like, hello, boobs. And I'm comfortable with cleavage. It was just like a little too much.
Especially for like an everyday dress. You don't want to have to worry too much about, all that.
And so I just didn't feel comfortable wearing it. And so I took a Butterick pattern that I adore and put the top of that on there. And now it's a dress I wear all the time.
Yeah.
So I might change those pockets because I know I will like it better. I am not sure about these pants though. I'm gonna wear them on Memorial Day, and I'll post a picture on Instagram. Because the thing is, I like dresses over skirts because it's done. It's a whole look. I don't have to go looking for a shirt to go with it, and I'm not like much into t-shirts, so I don't have a lot to go under these dungarees. So we'll see. It's a cute summer wear. I'm into it.
Yeah.
And I am 6 or 7 stitches away from finishing this sweater, so it's done.
Nice.
And we're not talking about ends being woven in, guys. No. Not
Tell
at
us
all.
About your finished sweater.
Literally, there are maybe 80 ends to weave in on.
And you didn't weave them in.
No, I had lots of pep talks with myself of like, you should do each day's progress.
Right.
Okay, good night. Okay, Anne, you're starting the sleeves.
You need to just sit down with a movie. Yeah.
I think it's going to be my...
But how has the words "you should" ever motivated anyone to really?
No, that's a good point.
As soon as you say "you should," I'm
it's
like, but I'm not gonna.
I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
Even though it's in my own head. So this is stripes, which this is my second one that I started, but first one I'm finishing. The first one is like bits and bobs of other sweaters, and I'm waiting to get some bits and bobs, so I have to finish a different sweater to continue my stripe sequence on the other one.
What's the pattern?
It's called Stripes.
Okay.
By Andrea Mowry.
Oh,
she teased it last August, and I think it didn't come out until December or January even. Because I'm pretty sure that I bought it like as soon as it came out. Because I wanted to make it the whole time. I thought about just using one of her other yoke sweaters and just doing stripes.
Is it a pullover?
Yes.
Nice.
All right.
Ooh.
Oh, so cute.
So that is awesome.
All my Malabrigo ends.
Oh, from the blankets?
From my blankets.
That's awesome.
There are 12 solids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there's total of 14 solids because some did run out without enough to do the sleeves. So I had to sub in 2 of the colors I had omitted. Because one was my edging and I didn't have it yet when I started the sweater, and the other is the chameleon color, which is not really a solid, it's really a multi, but it's dark. So this sweater is white speckle backgrounds alternating with the Malabrigo solids, and all the white speckles are going to be a future scrapper cardi where I just blend through these white background solids, because I can't have a truly white sweater.
No,
that's not a thing that I can
This
have.
sweater, when did you start it?
I kind of started it
I've never seen. I don't think I've seen
Well,
it.
I wasn't showing it to you guys because I was going to finish it really fast.
I'm
and
like,
you're
it
gonna be
appeared out
like,
of nowhere.
right?
I don't even know, because one of our customers was telling me Aunt's making the sweater with this, like the speckles in the middle, and it looks so great. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never seen this project.
Yeah, they got to see it on Zoom drop-ins, but I was gonna like awe you guys with how quickly I finished it. And then it came to the sleeves, and I put it aside for like 3 months.
Well, you still awed me because I didn't know it was a thing, so I'm impressed.
Look at this thing that came from nowhere. But I started it maybe January, maybe February. I also don't know, but
So it's
I
still
did make the body in like a
it's
week.
still finished in half the year.
Right.
Before the 6-month part.
Yeah, I made the body in like a week. We were talking about the crop sweaters, and there was some sweater I put on that I was making, and it went like directly under my boots if I had stopped when she recommended. And that's this sweater. I remembered while I was working on it. Oh, look at my
so
sleeves.
cute.
Those are cool.
I want to make one of those.
It's so fun, guys. So stripes is actually, when I looked at patterns yesterday, it was the #1 pattern on Ravelry, which is sort of weird because it's been out for 6 months.
Yeah.
So why would it be #1 yesterday?
Somebody cool who has a lot of followers posted about it.
Yeah, probably.
It wasn't me.
It was Anne.
Nope.
You're a trendsetter. You influencer. You influenced us, though.
I just
For
put
sure.
it on and it fits perfect.
It's so
I'm
cute.
so happy.
I love that length
I
because
love
I wear
it.
a lot of like high-waisted pants.
Yeah, it's
so
perfect.
cute.
Perfect. So
Did you make the ribbing longer than she says?
Yes, because I ran out of stripe sequence and I knew I needed more body. So I did, I mean, she intends this pattern to be a blank canvas. I think the stripes in the pattern are 8. I did 5 rounds for my stripes on this because I had so many colors. I needed a smaller number.
Did you like do the math to figure out the rows
Of
and all
course.
that?
I absolutely did. Down to the inch. Oh, I'm so happy.
It's so cute.
I was very tempted to start my scrapper that comes out of this speckled. And what had happened is I wound all of these speckled yarns one day and lined them all up. And I thought, these are so pretty. They would be really cool as distinct stripes because Scrapper's going to blend them together.
Yeah.
And then the Malabrigo bits and bobs, which were just going to go into my ongoing scrap afghan. They were sitting nearby, and I was like, because there's a significant amount of each ball of Malabrigo left, like 25 to 30 grams. Not enough to make a whole nother square, but a substantial amount.
Yeah.
And it all worked out. There were moments like this stripe of Ankara green down by the cuffs. I had like 6 inches left.
I was going to say, were there any
the
real
two
close
stripes.
calls?
Oh, yeah. The Ankara green and the coral were the closest.
You won Yarn Chicken for sure.
Well, so I had to make both sleeves at the same time. Because I had to like
make
do
sure
the
you
stripe.
had enough.
Yeah, and make sure everything was cool. So there's too much yarn for the speckle sweater too. So I was gonna have like, it was just too much yarn. So I knew there was enough that I could steal another sweater out of the speckle yarn.
Yeah.
I overbought, but I don't want to give up any of the colors that I have.
That's awesome.
And so Kaity and Karin will get to see how many ends need to be woven.
That looks like the inside of my sweater.
It's fringe.
It is.
You know, you could even just wear it inside out.
I could, but
and have fringe on the bottom of the sleeves and down the front.
Right down the front.
And
or down
it is
your back.
it's a fashion statement.
Like turning it around.
You know, it's going to be a trend. You do that because you know the inside looks just as pretty when you have the stripes.
Sure, they are pretty actually. Because where they interlock.
You
is
think
really
I'm
neat.
kidding?
I know you're like a little kidding and a little not. But I did the jogless join, where you lift, like on the second round of your color, you lift the first, like carry the first stitch. And it looks ugly until you weave that in. So I have to weave them in.
Yeah. She can't live with herself.
Nope. So
Nice.
So that saga begins of weaving in the ends. But I finished something knitting, which I literally do not think has happened this year until this project. I have been starting, planning, and finishing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the wave, I think I will try that Gideon method because I have Miss Ziggy I need to do the sleeves on. I have
Mhm.
Sanguine I need to finish the body and do the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
I have Alexander sweater, which I think the guilt of not finishing Alexander sweater is part of what was holding me back on finishing knitted things. Like, what am I doing finishing my sleeves? My poor son's sleeves need to be finished, but can't find them. So I gotta find them first. I have several projects where it's like you're so close to the end that if I buckled down, you'd be done in no time.
Yeah. There's a really great post from woolenhoney.com about the Gideon method. So if you did a Google search, it would be the first one that came up. And they do a good job of like explaining it. But I also kind of skimmed it, so I didn't see where the name came from because I was curious, but I also didn't, follow up on that. So I don't know. But well, I guess we can jump into what we're gonna talk about today. Now that we're an hour in.
That sounds about right.
Yep. So since we are moving into warmer weather, although it's a little gloomy here today, but
May gray.
Yeah, and we'll have some June gloom. But eventually, we'll get into the warmer summer months, and it's so since June is like the kickoff to summer, it will actually be summer soon. We thought we would talk about maybe some warm weather project recommendations, so things you can make or things that are a little more pleasant to work on while it's warm outside. So we each picked 3 patterns that we can sort of talk about or recommend that we either have made or something like that. A knitting, a crocheting, and a sewing pattern recommendation. So we want to go like round table and start with like a knitting project recommendation.
Sure.
So mine, I have made both the V-back tee and the Scrappy V pattern by Jamie Hoffman. So Knitosophy, the same one who designed the little monarch sweater. And they are short sleeve t-shirts that are knit in fingering weight, which is like, a great weight, especially because we live, if you're in Ventura, it's, it can be gloomy or, you're near the beach. It's not always super hot. So you can get away with wearing a wool t-shirt a lot of the time. And it's also a good pattern to layer in the cooler months because I wear it with like a long sleeve t-shirt underneath or something. And I love both of those projects. But they're also nice to work on because they're not full sweaters with sleeves and they're not real heavy on your lap, but it's still a garment that you can knit. You could also make it in something other than wool. Obviously you could use like a more summery weight linen or a cotton or whatever. But I love both of those patterns, and I was just looking back on my projects, and I pulled them out of my sweater drawer recently, and I thought, I should be wearing these more often. So that's my knitting pattern recommendation. Either the V-back tee, which is reversible, you can wear it with the V in the front, or the V in the back, it's very cute, or the Scrappy V, which is, you don't have to use scraps or leftovers, you could use any yarn you want, but that's my knitting pattern recommendation.
I'm going to take that one to heart because I definitely have yarn for V-back tee.
Mm-hmm.
It's just languishing.
Yeah, I want to make another one of those. It's a good project also for using stash because you're blending different colors of fingering weight, which I know I have plenty of.
Mm-hmm.
Karin, you want to go next?
So for knitting, I want to keep with small projects. I think small portable projects that are almost mindless that I can drop and go do something else, but then easily come back to. Mm-hmm. So I've got 2 things that I'm going to work on. I'm going to go back, revisit an old pattern that I actually taught as a class called Howl Cat by Alex Tinsley. It's called that because it's a cowl and it's a hat, depending on how you wear it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you cast on a certain number of stitches. There's no increases. There's no decreases. So imagine a hat with no decreasing, but yet it shapes and fits your head. So half of it's worsted, 1/1 ribbing. The other half is like a fingering in stockinette bind off.
Mm-hmm.
And then what you do is you'll turn it inside out. You put like the lighter weight on your head because this is big tube. You twist it and then you pull the worsted part down,
mm-hmm.
and it's a hat. Now, and ponytail hats are a kind of a thing. Hopefully, it's a short-lived thing.
Yeah.
But if you wanted that, because it's not actually closed on top, you could pull your hair out that way.
I gave my sister a beanie that I knit, and she was like, "Can you make a hole in the top for my bun?" And I was like, because I think they look so dumb.
I know.
They look so stupid. But I mean, it was easy enough to like pull out the last couple rounds and just bind off. And she
Yeah.
was so
Yeah.
excited. But I was like, okay. But that's a great pattern because like, especially thinking of like travel knitting.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How easy is that? You don't even have to have your pattern. It's just knit,
No.
purl, and maybe a tape measure.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
exactly.
For traveling.
Tape measure, and then when it gets to a certain point, then you change yarns and needles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is an increase just because you're switching from a
Mm-hmm.
worsted weight yarn to a fingering, and you want to keep the proportions, dimensions correct. But yeah, so I got some yarn, and it came super fast from the Farmer's Daughter Fibers because I just love their stuff. And in fact, both these projects are from that. And I just realized they almost are the same yarn.
Nah, they
Two
coordinate.
projects with the same yarn. One is the worsted weight is, let me just grab it since I have it right here, and hopefully I save my labels because that would be bad. My label's not in here. Whatever.
It's in the ball.
Oh, here it is. That's right. Because I'm repurposing it from another project. Soka PE, which is 100% Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. And that is, I'm going to do that and have it in a really pretty, what color do you think I'll be making that one from?
I'm gonna guess like a teal.
Yeah. It's like a robin's egg, a really pale robin's egg teal. But for my fingering, I'm going to pair it with their like fuzzy baby alpaca yarn.
Cute.
So it'll be like a soft fuzz lining that has multicolors.
You can also wear it the other way around too, right?
And that's the thing, it's reversible. You can wear it with the worsted side
fuzzy
close to your
side
head and
out,
the fuzzy side out. If you just fold it in half, it's a cowl.
Mm-hmm.
It's super, super clever. It's easily adaptable because it doesn't really matter as long as you have an even number of stitches.
Yeah.
The other project is same yarn, basically. I did one sample and I realized I did my sample wrong. The Asa Ukanaki. There's a lot of double I's, both the Soka PE and this last thing I said. Have two I's at the end. And let's see if sometimes I don't print out all my pages. I believe you can find this pattern also on the Farmer's Daughter Fiber website. It's a great fundraiser. It uses the Soka PE, but that actually pairs with spin cycle yarns dyed in the wool. So you get this changing colorway. And I love the one that I did. So what happens is you've got the soft fuzzy. It has a lining to it. But for the most part, it's like 4 rows, a 4-row 4-stitch repeat over and over and over again. It's very
I don't think you said what it was.
Yeah, I did. Asa
No,
Ukanaki.
But what is it?
It's a cowl.
There you
Sorry.
go.
Good.
A tube. Another tube.
It's another tube. See, I'm working on quick tubes.
Satisfying.
But it was funny when I read the instructions. It's amazing what one difference makes. Like when you're working it inside out.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did my first sample, there's a slip stitch and I slipped it with the yarn and back. And I read now that it's supposed to be. I'm like, oh, I was supposed to slip that in the front.
Don't you love when you revisit a pattern and you're like, oh, I did the exact opposite.
But it's a very different look.
Oh yeah, it looks totally different.
It looks totally different.
You're like window panes versus like kind of like a little stripe.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is this I'm showing them the backside because like I said, you're working it with the backside facing you.
Oh, this is the thing we said don't mind because both sides were pretty. Right?
But I did it
Oh, yeah.
anyway because I wanted to. But
'cause it's yours,
but now
do
you
what
can't.
want.
Yeah, but now you can't see what the inside looked like to compare how I did it wrong. I mean, if you do it wrong, it still looks really awesome. But
you could decide which side you liked better and make that.
and if you
right
follow
side.
the instructions, you still have the same dilemma that both sides look really
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah, so you don't have to line it. You could just keep it lightweight. Maybe the lining. So if you don't line it, you have a nice spring cowl. If you line it, you've got a great fall cowl. So
there you go.
but the lining is so pretty.
Yeah.
That is also pretty.
Anyway, so that's for my knitting. That's what I'm working on.
Cool.
I have this sick idea every summer. I don't know why. It usually strikes me in August when it's getting really quite hot, because really the, late summer, early fall is the hottest around here. To make blankets.
That's silly.
I know. Sick can. But if you make a blanket that's modular,
Yeah.
it's not so insane.
No,
No,
that's
'cause
a great option.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
So a hot pattern that's been moving through our community is the honeycomb waves blanket.
Yep.
It is a free pattern. You can knit it in strips, which is what the pattern calls for, or you can cast on like your desired length and the stitch repeat and
Make it all in
just
one
make it
piece.
all in one, which is funny because people kept saying, oh, this looks like something Stephen West would do. And he does have a couple of patterns that use this honeycomb a lot. There's, I think, 2 or 3 patterns of his. But then I was just bumming around on his Instagram, and I saw that like he has made the honeycomb blanket more than one time. Also,
okay.
So yes, it does look like something Stephen West would make, because he has. So the hot tip here is that people have been using either the Karin cakes or the mandalas from Lion Brand, and you use 2 different self-striping, and you get this really cool gradient with the border of the honeycomb and the background.
Yeah.
It's a very easy stitch pattern that's very impressive. It's an old stitch pattern really, and it's knitting and purling with slipping some stitches. It's very, very.
And you're
friendly.
only using one color at a time. You're not
Right.
doing any color work really.
Right. Really good impact for the work you put in.
Also, go ahead.
Oh, I'm probably going to say the same thing that you were going to say, so go ahead and say it.
I was going to say that making a modular blanket in summer is a fantastic idea. Number one, because each piece, like if you're making squares or whatever, is small. But then by the end of summer, you have a blanket for wintertime.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
There you go.
Never,
But that's actually better than what I was going to say.
It's never big and bad on your lap.
Yeah.
I started another one last year that's called Safe at Home Blanket, and it's these very cute little houses. And so that's started. So it's these strips of houses that you make and sew together at the end. So I am going to finish that, I think. Maybe.
Nice.
Ironically, from yarn that was purchased July, like 2 or 3 years ago, to make a blanket starting in July.
Yeah. Can I preemptively go back and I just remembered a thing I finished.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I knit a baby blanket for a baby shower I went to for my cousin-in-law, whatever. But I don't have the blanket because I already gave it to them, but I have a picture.
Yay.
It is Spudding Chloe. I was working on it when we were on our trip. This is the Chevron baby blanket by Pearl Soho, free pattern. 2 colors of Spudding Chloe sweater, a blue and a green, like a limey green, and like a nice royal blue. And then I made a matching hat to go with it. So I want to get credit for my blanket that I finished.
Well, you
Awesome.
deserve credit.
Well, now we can talk about crochet project ideas.
All right.
My recommendation is a market bag or market bags.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Because, everybody loves going to the farmer's market or whatever. Reusable bags are always good to have on hand. Usually they are made with like a cotton yarn, so it's a nice summery weight. So it's, number one, nice to work on in the summer, but also a helpful thing to have at summertime or, year round. But you could use it for, your beach towels and stuff, go to the beach, whatever. I have made various ones in my time as a maker, and I couldn't think of one off the hand, but I was rummaging through Ravelry and I found this pattern called the Sakura market bag, which has this beautiful like medallion flower on the bottom of it.
Oh, that's cute.
And it's like one of the most popular crochet
that's
patterns.
pretty.
So if you're an avid crocheter, you've probably seen this pattern, but
Wait,
now
what's
I
that
need
called
to make
again?
one of these.
Go into Ravelry.
Sakura market bag. DK weight cotton yarn. It's so cute. So now I'm like, I gotta make one of those.
I have a bunch of that from I've got in my stash.
Okay.
Why?
Because it was going to be something else, and then I totally lost.
I was wondering what it was going to be. I have a hard time with
It was
cotton
going to be a
yarn.
sweater, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like doing
Don't
it.
make a cotton sweater. You got smart.
Yeah, instead it's going to be a market bag, and I could do multiple because I've got multiple colors.
Yeah. It also doesn't have to be cotton. You could make it with like an acrylic yarn and it would work
Yeah.
just as well. It's just
But it's a good way to use, because cotton is fun to have around. I just don't trust it in garments.
no. And you could use a cheap cotton like a dishcloth cotton for
And
this,
there's-
whereas I wouldn't make a sweater out of that.
Yeah, there's so
And that's
many
basically
cute...
what it is. It's the Knit Picks cotton.
Dishy?
Dishy,
I have
yeah.
a cone of like peaches and cream in white. That's like the never-ending cone of cotton. So I think that's probably what I'm going to make my market bag out of. But
Say
I
there's
do
so
wanna
many
make one.
cute colorways of those dishcloth
Exactly.
cottons, so that's a good way to indulge in that. When 'cause I
And
don't
she
wanna make
shows so many
washcloths. I
colors
won't lie.
too. Oh, they're
yeah, there's a million pattern photos. Also, anything that we mention in knitting and crocheting, you could make the knit or crochet version of. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about crocheted market bags, but there are a million patterns for knitted market bag patterns. So that's also, totally an option. But that's my pattern recommendation.
Yeah, there is Safe at Home has a Tunisian crochet version.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's probably something like
wow, so many
honeycombs in
languages.
crochet.
I guess I'll stick with English.
Karin, do you have a crochet pattern?
As much as I want a small project in knitting, I want a big project in crochet because crochet goes fast.
Sure.
So to me, I actually picked kind of in the lines of Anne's idea of modular. I've got this Tony Lipsy. I had her name up. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem with trying to shop while you're listening.
You
Like-
write them down and you shop later.
Yeah. So Tony Lipsy, Toni, has two Afghans. The saltwater Afghan, which has got a really neat texture, but it's big wide stripes.
Nice.
And the Daphne Afghan, which is modular in that you're working on these triangles, and it's a stripe of an ombre and a stripe of a solid.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to do a stripe of a speckle called Cake Pop
Mm-hmm.
from Knit Picks. And I'm going to, then they have the Bravo worsted mini skein set. So you get like a bunch of like 1,300 yards worth of worsted weight and like 15 colors or something like that. Even numbers, so probably a 14 or something like that. Anyway, so I got one of those mini skeins, and what it does is it's like these narrow stripes that you make these triangle shapes, and then the triangles get sewn together to make one big square.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what I am going to do.
Nice.
The saltwater Afghan, I am kind of in the Knit Picks kick, I guess. I'm reusing up stash of the... They call it an Aran weight, but honestly, it knits and crochets up as a worsted weight, and it's
a fine line.
It's Wonder Fluff.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they call for an 11, and 11 is way too loose. And if you look at the notes, everybody says 11 is too loose for that.
Uh-huh.
It works better on an 8, and it still is not a tight fabric. So I'm going to use up that Wonder Fluff is that soft. What is it when it's like a tube that they blow?
Yeah, I don't know what the name of that is, but
Whatever that kind of construction of yarn is, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And can you imagine a soft, fluffy blanket?
Yes.
Unfortunately, it'll be warm.
Sure.
So maybe earlier in the summer.
But modular.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that one is for saltwater, which is not
Got it.
modular.
June Gloom, remember?
June
Yeah.
Gloom. If you're going to work on something warm, do
Or
it before
you
August.
sit at a table and you put it on the table to
Yes.
work, and it's not in your lap.
And put the fan
Underneath the table.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's my crochet.
Cool.
She's got a lot of great designs. I had a hard time choosing. I was like, oh, I like that one. Oh, I like that one. I actually bought several patterns of hers, but focused on those two as far as Afghans go.
Well, the good thing about making in summertime is usually whatever you finish is done by wintertime. So it's not a bad idea to make a blanket in summer, because you make a blanket in winter and then you can't use it.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
there's something to be said about that. Anne, do you have a recommendation?
For crochet, I'm gonna go back and finish a project that I started. I think shawls are a pretty good warm weather project. I haven't been too into shawls the last couple of years.
They're fun to make. I just don't ever wear them.
Yeah, I'm okay about wearing them. They're not bad to wear to the office for one more layer when it's real cold, or a light layer. But Morning Light Shawl by CJ Brady. One of our crocheters was making, and it's so pretty, and it's like a really fun V-stitch repeat. So I'm gonna pick that back up and
Oh, is that the one that goes from like point to point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I like that.
Real cute. And I was making it in like a fun self-striping sock yarn I had in my stash forever, and it was turning out really cute. So I'm gonna dig that out and finish it. And
I almost recommended a crochet shawl because I don't crochet as often as I knit, so I went into my Ravelry finished projects and looked at crochet projects. And I am scrolling to find the Half Moon shawl I made a couple years ago. 2017. But it's a free pattern. I think it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's not. It's $5, but it's a pattern on Ravelry.
Wow.
I used like a gradient set. It was a sample at Anna Kappa, so you probably remember that one.
Oh,
yeah.
But
like,
like Mini Skeins, she makes it I think in like a self-striping yarn, so you could do like a cotton cake or something, and it would be perfect for that. But
I remember that being a very fun pattern.
it was easy and it was fun, so that's my honorable mention. Well, now we can talk about sewing projects.
Yep.
I am not the garment sewer that either of you are. It's not my favorite kind of sewing. I get like a bug to make clothes every once in a while.
I started getting my bug because you were making teas and all kinds of awesome stuff when we first were here.
Yeah, I was really into making garments a couple years ago, and then I haven't in a while since then, just because it's not my style usually. But I have two patterns from Cashmerette that I have made multiple times that I really like. And Cashmerette is a independent designer who makes plus size sewing patterns, and I think they are going back and filling in like the smaller end of their sizes. I don't know if either of these are yet available, but they're both sizes 12 through 32. One of them is the Pembroke dress, which I've made two of, both for Easter dresses. But they're really simple, like front back, set in a sleeve, and it's got like a tie, so it ties around the waist. Both of mine I've made in like floral prints. Cute. Easy peasy in a knit fabric, and it's also really comfy to wear, so I don't wear dresses very often, but I have made two that I really like, both from that pattern. The other is the Springfield top, which is like a tank top, and it has bust darts, and it's a little more involved because you have like facings and,
Is that knit or woven?
It's woven. I've made 3 of them. One of them in a chambray, one in, what's the linen?
Yeah, it was brown, and it
Robert
taught us all
Kaufman
to wash it.
linen, whatever.
What is that called?
Yeah,
it's a place in England.
Essex linen.
There you go.
It's an Essex linen. Wash it first because it shrunk. Like I made, so I made 2 of these in that yarn. One I did not pre-wash, and then it came out of the dryer completely shredded because it wasn't pre-shrunk.
Yeah. You have all these cautionary tales.
Yeah.
That, like, if something bad happens to Katie, I listen.
Well, I'm lazy and I don't like pre-washing my fabric.
Oh, I'm with you, but that was a scary tale. So.
But the one that I made in Essex linen that does fit, I do like, and I wear a lot. And then I have one in like a quilting cotton in like a yellow, like retro floral print that I wore to the baby shower I went to a couple weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such like a happy springy yellow, and like you can layer it with like, I had like a long cardigan on over it. Super cute. So I like both of those patterns.
Okay, say the name of that one again. I'm sorry.
I will in 1 second. Springfield.
Because I want a cute woven top pattern to wear under Leo dungarees.
It has 2 options for the back, like a yoke back, and then one with princess seams in the back. And I did the one with the princess seams in the back, and it's very flattering, very cute. So those are my sewing recommendations. Karin?
Okay, so
you're gonna tell us what you bought.
Yes,
Yeah, she's shopping.
I'm shopping. Well, I already told you that while we were talking is when I got the yarn for that Afghan.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
I thought you bought some fabric too.
I did, but the fabric. Yeah, not
Just
today.
tell your story.
Not today. So I've been wanting to make some skirts.
Okay.
I saw a TikTok of that of like this young girl who was maybe like 18, like,
Oh, I saw
look
this.
at this. It's a skirt. And then she lifts the little panel with shorts. And then like somebody responding of like,
Uh-oh.
this is new to you.
And she was like so shocked. She was like, there's shorts under this skirt. And then the girl was like rolling her eyes like, oh god. These Gen Xers don't know, or
Oh,
Zers don't
yeah,
know what
they're
skirts are.
Gen Z for babies. Yeah.
But I'm going to make it from a stretchy knit fabric that I got some from Melanated Fabric. And I love that they're just down in San Diego. So they had some really pretty printed knits with a great big bright floral.
Cute.
Of course in blue with yellow and black
Mhm.
and other colors. But you'll be surprised. So that I like Anne, you do multiples of things. You
Yeah,
don't ever
batch
just do
sewing.
one thing. So I'm doing a batch of skirts.
Nice.
One is totally not my normal color, but it's a floral with black and bright red orange flowers and
Ooh,
a
sounds
little bit of
cute.
teal, a little bit of baby like a baby blue flower in there too. So and then the short part of the skirts is a contrast, but not a big contrast.
Mm-hmm.
The pattern I found from Shenanigans, and it's I try to find other type of skirts, but there's not a lot for plus size. And this one goes from like extra small to 5X. It's a really big
nice.
range. They have a range of lengths that you can do. You can do it with just the shorts or just the skirt. And I'm going to do the little flounce at the bottom. Maybe for one of them. We'll see. Anyway.
That sounds real fun. My turn?
Yep.
Okay. I have a lot of sewing ahead for the summer, I hope. But I wanted to just focus in on one thing, which is something that is a challenge for me. I think our recommendations have maybe flip-flopped, Katie. You recommended a cute dress, and I'm going to work on shorts.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to make some more of the shorts I'm wearing today, which are the Heidi shorts from Seamwork.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a super
Oh.
simple short with a waistband that's faced and pleats. It needs pockets. It's the one thing it's missing.
Oh,
It's
it doesn't?
really near
It's got to have pockets.
because it has a side zip.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do inseam pockets with a side zip. It's
Yeah.
just challenging. So it
Yeah.
takes this very easy pattern and makes it a lot harder.
I think you could do that because the pocket, if it's like, I could see how it could be done.
It can be
because
done,
you could
I know
hide
it.
part at the front of the pocket under one of the pleats.
Could you move the zipper to the back? Does that make it harder?
No, that might be a good solution.
I don't know.
Also, I'm annoyed with this because it's an invisible zipper, and I haven't worn them much because the invisible zipper broke.
Mm-hmm.
So I mended it last night. So now I can wear them again. Yay!
Cute.
So then I also wanted to I made these for Mirabella. The Hey June shorts. That's not the name of the pattern.
That's the designer, right?
Yeah,
Because I've made her, I don't know, t-shirt pattern or something before.
Her stuff's very like sporty and cute, and she doesn't have a lot of patterns, but they're all pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a beach set, and they're little pedal shorts. So I made them for Mirabella, but the pattern goes pretty far in size range, I believe. I don't remember what the exact size range is. But anyways, I'm going to make those shorts for me.
Nice.
I saw this girl wearing like the cutest, like kind of skirty linen shorts walking down Main Street, and I am going to make some Essex linen shorts.
Ooh, that would be
They
great.
have been washed. They will need to be serged on all the edges.
Okay.
So I got to break the serger out because I don't want them to shred. It's the Vero Beach set that has these cute little pedal shorts. I was going to make these very simple like practically pajama pant shorts from a McCall's pattern, but I was looking at them and they're so boring.
Yeah.
Like the pattern would be so boring. It just was not. I decided not to cut those out yet.
Yeah.
So shorts. I'm gonna work on summer shorts.
Nice.
So you're halfway between Katie
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
recommendation.
I have the urge to own a pair of shorts, of like overalls, but short overalls.
Oh, cute.
Like denim overalls,
Yeah.
and I have not found them yet. But then I was like, I could
Cashmere?
like them.
There are several cute.
Either
Either
Cashmere has them or Helen's Closet has.
there's a
It's
really
Helen's
cute
Closet.
one.
I
That's
don't know if I want to
almost
work
like
that hard because I feel like it's the sort of thing I'd either make it and be like, yes, I love these, or I'd make it and be like, I look like a baby and I'm not gonna wear them.
like the Leo dungarees.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to commit to a full denim. It's a little advanced of a project, so I don't know. I haven't convinced myself I'm going to do that yet, but it's in my mind.
That would be very cute. Here's the Leo dungarees. I mean, they're cute, and I had them on, and they're very comfy. Oh, this girl did a cute thing with hers.
Oh yeah,
So they're just big, cute. It almost
yeah.
reminds me of a clown costume I made
Uh-huh.
when,
a
like, when I
little.
was
Okay,
wearing
that's
them.
is that a selling point?
But like make it
But
cute.
see, that's how I feel about them. Is like I think this is actually from the pattern. It's like
Oh, that's
really
so
cute, right?
cute.
And I think they look that
Yeah.
cute on me. But then you're sitting around and
Yep.
and you feel like your diaper needs a change.
Yep. That was like I tried on a romper once at like Old Navy or whatever, and it had shorts, and it was like, I don't know how, whatever. I put it on, and I was like, I just look like a giant baby. Like this is not a good look. I'm sure it was cute on somebody, but it was not for me.
The pattern is by Hand London.
That reminds me of the bottom is like a palazzo pant,
Yeah.
which I was also looking at, but then I settled on skirt.
I like a sport.
Yeah.
Plus, it's fun to say.
Yes, it is.
Well, regardless of what you make this summer, if you are in the camp of making small things just for the sake of the warm weather, or making big things so that you have them by the time the cool weather comes around. If you have recommendations or like favorite projects that you're working on right now, like I want to hear them from you guys too. So
Yes, please.
you want to have anybody have an obsession they want to talk about?
Yes.
Something they're real into?
Yes.
Okay.
I found this Instagram account that just makes me so happy. It might not be for everyone, and I'm surprised that it's for me because he's almost a clown, but he's not.
Okay.
It's Dandy and Friends.
Oh yeah, I see him on
I
TikTok.
love him so much. He's kind of like it. I mean, it's a certain type of drag, I guess.
Mhm.
He is based in like a dandy from 1700s Britain or France.
Yeah,
And
like Marie
so-
Antoinette-ish
Yes,
era.
yes,
Like the white face paint.
He does pink, bright pink blush and
Yep.
different highlights on his cheekbones, and then a big overdone blue eyeshadow.
I don't follow him, but he shows up on like recommended videos, and every time I'm like, oh my god, look who it is.
Yeah, I went down the rabbit hole last weekend and have been delighted that I decided to follow him because he's showing up all the time in my regular feed, and he's just so delightful.
Yeah.
He's so cute, and I can't believe he doesn't, because he is like, the makeup's very clownish, and
Yeah.
I am terrified of clowns.
Yeah.
So
But
I
the curl wig, the white
Yeah.
18th century
Yeah,
or,
well, he has
1700
several
curl
wigs.
wigs.
Also, I mean, he's just beautiful, honestly, because he's done some videos where he's like, doing his routine, and he's just a beautiful human being with beautiful, beautiful messages.
Some great jackets.
He's so cute. There's another one, but I can't, and I just started following her last night. Have you guys seen the girl who does like a perfect McGonagall impression?
Yes.
And she's doing McGonagall
Okay,
cursing.
for those of us who don't know
Professor McGonagall from
Oh, yes, Harry Potter.
Yes.
Okay. For a moment I thought it was like an acronym of a couple.
Fair enough. I did follow her last night, but I can't actually like remember her name. But it's so hilarious and so spot on.
Yeah.
It's perfection.
I've seen a couple of them, but I don't know who she is or what her name is. But
I decided to follow her. But maybe if you check the hashtag cursing McGonagall or
or
swearing
something like that.
McGonagall.
Yeah,
Blue
her
McGonagall
impression is incredible.
Yeah, and she's so funny. So again, she just every time she's popped up as a recommendation, she's made me laugh so hard that I just decided to follow her last night. So those are my two obsessions.
Nice.
Dandy is the best.
Our
little lavendaries.
No, because I want to rewatch it. So if you watch the same thing over and over again, is that slightly obsessive?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So my love for the zombie genre. Army of the Dead is really, really good.
Really? You really liked it?
I liked it. I mean, parts of it.
How many times have you watched it? I want to know that.
Well, maybe twice.
Okay, that's
but
okay.
I want to go back and watch some parts.
Really?
Okay, it's not that it's not like there are parts of it that are kind of course, dark because it's zombies. Hello, but parts of it were campy. I thought and kind of cheesy, and I kind of like the cheese in a zombie. Pick.
I mean, that's like Zombieland. That's part of what's fun and light about this horrible situation.
Right. It's very meta.
Yeah. There were parts I liked.
I meant to go back and watch Tremors, but I haven't done it. See, okay, maybe next month that's going to be my obsession.
Okay. Well, there's several movies.
So.
Well, that will having to go through all of them. That will be.
No, I wouldn't do it. Watch the first one, maybe the first three. I would say.
Yeah. I like the one where he's on his own, the friends.
Yeah,
that one's not bad.
Yeah.
It still stands without Kevin Bacon. In Army of the Dead, did you know that? Have you seen this trivia that the helicopter pilot and Dave Bautista have actually never met in real life?
What?
Right? Because all of her stuff was filmed on a green screen.
Yeah.
Because she replaced an actor who is not persona non grata.
Oh.
So
I love her. But I love that actress. So
she was amazing. She's the best part of the movie.
Well, and I like that she kind of plays the same kind of character no matter where she's at. But I love what she does. So
yeah, she's hilarious.
I could see that because most of the movie they're only like talking to each other on
There's one part that really fooled me, which is when she's talking about how hello, aren't I like at least the second most important person, maybe the third most important person here? Why are you guys doing a better job of protecting me?
Yeah,
and they're in the same scene.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, Kevin, that's a lie. When my husband told me this, and no, he told me the whole story, and he's like, literally, if you really look hard, you can tell that they are never together.
Because when they're in the helicopter together, you see the back of what you think is her head.
Yeah, it's all action shots.
But it's so quick, you really don't see her. You're right.
Well, now you got to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
I like zombie movies. This was not one of my favorites.
I liked it for the funny aspects. I mean,
I love Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
wait. I don't know names. So is
that's the big guy?
That's the big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, the idea of
in Guardians best.
But don't you love that it's in Vegas that they've?
Yes.
I mean, I'm like this. It's not like they contained it to one place. They think, of course.
Yeah.
Duh.
Well,
Plus, it feeds the government conspiracy theorist of me. So.
It is definitely a meta movie because they literally do something meta in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's not really scary. You might like it.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
I didn't even know. I had never heard of this before.
Kevin was so excited. He's like, this is out. Okay, he put it right on. And
who doesn't want to see a zombie tiger? Or a zombie horse. The horse that can still be ridden and controlled by the zombie king.
I blame my husband maybe a little bit for my feelings about it because if, like, you watch something and you're not in the mood for it and it's being foisted on you.
That's a surefire way to not be excited about it.
I just wasn't in the mood for the stress of a zombie story.
Well, I'll have to check it out, or at least tell James about it.
It's not scary, and of course I watched it.
It's an action movie.
Yeah, and there's in the individual funny parts, so.
The helicopter pilot is my favorite.
Well,
And it's much better with her than it would have been with the guy who is.
Does she go as she, her?
I don't know.
Okay.
my
I
current.
think they refer to the character. I wonder if they do ever.
I don't know if they do.
Anyway.
I have no idea. My current thing I am obsessed with is a brand called Never Ending Weekend, and I found them on Instagram. They're a woman-owned brand, and they make, I think they're in Canada somewhere, I don't remember, but they make a lot of bags and like some hats and stuff. But the like aesthetic of their style, they're all like waxed canvas bags.
Ooh.
They're so cute. They have like a quilted fanny pack that I love. They have
Oh, how cute! It's all boxy.
I love just like their styles or their color sense.
Mm-hmm.
Is great. Like I love all of their color combinations, and as a person who loves making bags with wax canvas, I number one want to steal some of their color combos, and number two want to save up money and buy myself one of these fanny packs because they are so cute. A lot of their bags, they have this like big curvy tote bag that's really cute. They make matching like bucket hats, which I'm not a bucket hat kind of person. But they are very cute, and they are all in these really fun color combinations.
Yes.
So I followed them,
Ooh.
and I get excited when they show up on my Instagram page because they also make videos of like I love like their like sewing in progress
Oh,
videos.
yeah.
You can see them working on stuff. But I just really like the their design aesthetic. So I'm a big fan.
Wow, that tote is awesome. The day tripper,
Yeah, with the
nice
big
and big.
pocket.
Yeah, but
love
I
it.
like the it's like a vase shape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big, deep tote bag. I love all of their colors, and I want to figure out where they source their canvas from because they have good colorways. But that is who I am currently excited about. So, I think that brings us to the end of our episode today. So, if you have any pattern recommendations for us or whatever, please let us know. And I guess we'll catch you next month or mid-month for our book club. We're reading a book called While Justice Sleeps
It's
by
so
Stacey
good.
Abrams. I haven't
couldn't
started
stop
it
it.
I know. Unputdownable.
I haven't
Yeah,
started it yet.
yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm reading.
I'm actually gonna go back and listen to, and the audiobook is so good too.
So I'm reading the physical book, but I plan because I'm going to be done so soon. Like I plan on listening to the audiobook when we get closer to our recording date.
I'm gonna bring the book with me.
I
on
want
my
to
trip,
read more
so-
Stacey Abrams.
I know because like I said when choosing the book, romance novels aren't necessarily a genre I've really gotten into. So
This doesn't feel like a romance.
This
though.
is a political
This is different,
thriller.
though.
This is a different genre. Like she wrote it in the spirit of a different genre, but her writing is so engaging.
I'm excited to read it because I do like
Yeah.
a romance novel, so I think I would go back and listen or read those too.
Yeah, it's unputdownable.
That's good. Well, I'm excited because I haven't started it yet. So if you want to pick up a copy and read it along with me, I will be, right at the same point as you, and we'll talk about it mid-month. So we'll see you then for that. Otherwise, have a good June, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.